got it, yeah?
Welcome back to another episode of Marvin Herbert's Nothing But the Truth. Today we're in a beautiful setting of Edinburgh Castle, Edinburgh Festival. We're just on, what's it called? It's the Fringe. No, it's that mile, the mile run for the Edinburgh Festival. But yeah, today we've got an exceptional guest on today with young entity, God's Glitch. It's a young man that I've helped mentor for the last couple of years onto a phenomenal platform with an amazing network of assistance and help, and the achievements and accomplishments are down to yourself, young Nathaniel. And I'd like to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you, it's unreal. And
Thanks for having me on, man.
come on, for me, it's more about letting people understand that we're all from the same place, similar backgrounds, but we all make different choices, which ultimately end up putting us on and through some of the most traumatic situations, places and events we ever come across.
100%.
So without further ado, I'd like you to let my audience know a little bit more about yourself, where you come from and where it all began.
Okay, I'm from Birmingham. I always had a love for music from a young age. That's when my journey started with the music, going to pirates radio stations, getting a cab there, and because it was late, you know, had to bump taxi back, and because I had school in the morning, them ones there. It all started from music really, and my love for music. I always loved music from a very young age. But one of my relatives, my Aunt Lydia's, rest in peace, she used to have a clothes shop. And what she'd do, she'd go around the family's houses overnight sometimes with her rail and put all the latest stock on there. So I've been around fashion and whatnot, and I've saw it from a distance. It's woven into the tapestry of myself and my family unit. So I've always liked designer clothes and things like that, but I wasn't always able to afford them. And unfortunately, coming up as a kid, I was grateful, but I was quite materialistic. I used to see the other kids in it, the cool kids, you know, Rockport, Brashers, Berghouse, all of that. I just was like, yo, you know, I want some of that, but I was never able to. So, you know, as materialistic as it sounds, just as a kid, it was just something that I strive for, you know, having the clubber that the cool kids had. Like, I was somebody that just had a natural personality anyway, so I was right next to the cool kids. I was with all of them, like, going to all their houses come weekend. But, yeah, that was where it all started for me and my love for clothes. And then I left home at, I think it was 15. I left home a few times before that as a kid. Like, I left home about 11, went to this relatives, went to that relative. So I've moved house quite a bit.
Was there any specific reason for the move, or was it just?
Yeah, behaviour.
So your behaviour.
Yeah.
So
I needed a
being
lot.
Boisterous.
Yeah. And I felt like I needed a lot of work. I needed like a.
So was it your family's decision for you to live elsewhere, or was it
both?
Yours?
I wanted to go as well. Yeah, I wanted to go as well. And I don't regret it, because now if you was to drop me off in Timbuktu, mate, give me like 24 hours, I'll be linked up with its energies in it. So put me anywhere on the planet, I'll find the best people within that area, wherever you put me.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was it you was yearning to get away from?
But when I was a child.
Yeah. What was this home circumstances like? Like, how was your family like?
It was just my mum really, and my two sisters at the time, and I just didn't feel part of it. You know, I just felt like it wasn't for me. Weirdly enough, from a young age, I just felt like I needed to just get away. And
was your dad around?
Nah.
So you brought up in a household full of women?
Yeah.
No dad around?
Nah. And then every now and then I'd see like my uncle or my granddad, which was one of the main reasons that I came back from my aunt's and I moved to my nan's, because my granddad had a stroke, and I was helping my nan out with my granddad, and she was like, yo, may I go tell your mum to make you come and live here and whatnot, because you're very helpful and whatnot. But my granddad was like, because he had a stroke, he must have went back to when he was 18, 19, 20 or so, because he's here trying to pass me cigarettes and all them things there. But it was a great experience, because when I was naughty at school, yeah, you know, when you have to get your report signed, my granddad was patterning my the signatures for me, because he wouldn't even ask. He'd just be like, yo, granddad, I need to sign this. He'd sign it for me, and that's my report, bless. Just to make sure I was up first thing in the morning to get the letter, which makes your parents or your guardian aware that you've been put on report. So I was the first one up, grabbed the letter, all of that. So
boxing clever with the grandparents.
I had to. My nan was very, very, you know, she was a Christian, and she was very
old
like,
Jamaican.
Lord abiding. Yeah, no messing around, man. And,
Old Jamaican.
100%. So that's a bit of my upgrowing there, and then as I got older, I moved from there. I think my granddad passed away, and that was like basically like a dad kind of thing. I know he wasn't really a father figure, but he was a man, an older man.
He was a father figure.
Yeah, but it's just because of his mindset though. He was like a young man trying to chill with me. Like I was the only one that could go in his car and put tapes in his tape deck and just chill. But then because of the stroke, sometimes he'd switch. So then he'd be like, oh, what are you doing to my car? So it was a bit mad for me, because he weren't always the same person.
Yeah.
And then we'd be watching like, you know, Jimmy Cliff, that film, Many Rivers Across and whatnot. And he used to say to me and my grandma, he used to be like, oh, yo, I'm in brethren that rare. He used to think that like him and Jimmy Cliff were actually like boys, innit? So that was like a joke between me and my grandma at the time. And yeah, man, so that was my upbringing, say from about year 4 to year 6, going into year 7. Then I moved from there to, I like to call it the hood, with my cousins. And they taught me the way a bit. You know, I went to the jungle, basically. Mowgli has to go into the jungle, doesn't he, basically? And I went into the jungle, mate, yeah? I went into the jungle, and yeah, you know, rubbing shoulders without going into too much details around certain characters that were doing certain things. And I started to get attracted to the lifestyle a little bit, but I was still a grafter. I was always a grafter, because I've seen my grandma graft. I saw my mum graft at a certain point. And my granddad was a taxi driver, so I used to know before he used to get his stroke, I used to know like on a Saturday I have to be up earlier. If I'm up at 7 or whatnot, he'd give me like £5 coins. And that's maybe why I collect the pound coins to this day. I just realised now, just saying it to you, I collect pound coins. So if I break a note, I will always collect the coins and then go and cash them in like later on. But we had that kind of bond, and he would show up on my birthday, funnily enough. Just randomly, and he had like a RS Turbo, white RS Turbo. He didn't do, if he was doing things, he was doing it proper. And he had the only, at the time he had like, when I was younger, he had a Starsky and Hutch car. Yeah. He had the actual Starsky and Hutch car, so he was somebody that was, you know, Afro comb, everything. Like he had he had like a house phone in his car and that. Like I ain't gonna lie, my granddad was like one of them like suits. Never ever wore T-shirts or anything like that. It was straight shirt, or gold chain, like old school Caribbean man, you know. And yeah, so when he passed away, that was my first experience of losing a family member, and that kind of ripped me off, to be honest. The whole family dynamic changed. Obviously, my nan's going to change just naturally. Yep. And I felt it was my time to go. And I went to live with my aunt, as I said, with my cousins in the hood, and learnt my way there, but I blagged my way to become a supervisor at the Birmingham City football ground. I blagged them. I said I was 16, I was of age, and I was ready to work, and I was actually 15 and I was still at school, so I had a part-time job at the Birmingham City football ground, and I was the supervisor of the Tilton stand. It's one of the main stands at the time, and I was getting man from the hood jobs. So I was like, yeah, man, come down, I'll get you a job. So I became, even though I was still close to the other things, I still knew that if you had a job and, you know, it was the best thing. So I've come from a working class family, and that was my main focus. After that, then it came to an end, sadly, living at my aunt's. That was upsetting for me again, because I was very close with my cousins at the time. They were like brothers to me, but they were older. So, you know, I couldn't have this attitude. I was my nan's oldest grandson, and everyone was younger than me, and I think the closest boy to my age, I had a cousin that was younger than me, but I was I was the bull in that pen. Like, no, that was my pen. You understand? Like, I was the mainers. So then to go to my aunt's and then not be the mainers, I had to kind of learn how to
fit in.
100%. And, you know, there was quarrels, there was fights and everything, but, you know, it's what made me who I am today. And as I said, at them times there when I was at the Blues Ground, I was able to start buying myself these these trainers, these coats, and going to school with these fresh coats. And it's like, it's all hard-earned money. I've actually grafted for it. And yeah, so I was proud of myself at that time. Then my nan flew back to Jamaica. That was like another death to me, because this woman that's been there over a large period of my life, she just had to go. She wanted to go back home. I'm sure she was looking for some kind of happiness. Yeah. You know, her husband has just died and she wanted to go back, so she went back to Jamaica. And yeah, that's when my life began. I think the day say again?
What year was that?
2003. 2003, so I just finished school. And I ended up going and doing a madness that day. Got back from the airport, had a call, and just ended up going and doing a madness. It was like a lash out kind of thing. But without going into too much detail, everything was blessed. Everything was blessed. I was always the smart one, you know. I kind of feed off that saying about a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Yeah, so.
Who was it who said that? It's only, was it for a man to learn from his only mistake? For a man to learn from his own mistakes? No. A fool, truly a fool, is a man who learns from others' mistakes. A true wise man learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah. I think that's how it went.
From my own mistakes, unfortunately. You know?
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, man. And then I think after that, then I was in work, but I had my own flat at the time. Like, this is 16, and obviously food, electric, you know, all them things. I was getting paid. I got a job at JD, I can't lie. I was chuffed, but it's like they charged you for working there. It's like £3.60 an hour, Marv, yeah? So check it, £1.70 for my day saver. Yeah, I've got to work 2 hours to make my peas back for my day saver already. And I've got to work over 4 hours to make a tenner, bro. So I had to have a different stream of income. So that's when I started to get my hands a bit dirty. But yeah, it's just part of growing up. It was easy for me then. I didn't have to worry about food. I was like, yeah, man, cool, whatever, boom, boom, bam, going to the shop, getting whatever I want. It was that kind of being able to provide for myself without asking my mum for money or asking my dad for money. I had a bit too much pride as a kid. I didn't used to like taking money from my mum. Weirdly enough, because I knew that she was the type of person that would give you everything and have fuck all, you know? And it weren't always good. It weren't always a good thing. I wouldn't say my mum's money management was the best thing. I had to learn money management myself. Because she always used to say from when I was young, she hates money, don't love money, like quick as it comes, quick as it can go. Don't fall in love for money, and I think that's where I learned where I can't ever really be bought. If I'm not happy in a situation or I'm not happy in a job, like I'll bite my nose off to spite my face. I'll go through that struggle. I'm not gonna let you have me by my balls because of an amount of money.
Be biting your nose off to spite your face.
Would it be?
Yeah. Not making the right. Biting your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah.
Means you're doing something that causes a problem for you.
Okay, so that's the wrong metaphor to use. Just basically knowing my worth and being able to walk out of any situation, because I believe that I would be able to provide for myself. And I've always had that mentality.
Work ethic.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, so just skip it forward a few years. Ended up going down to London at the time. This is before country was cool. So I was in country before it was all hyped up, you know. It was very secretive, it was very set up. And I think that was a part of my life that I used to be, don't really talk about it too much, but that there was an eye-opener for me. I didn't, even though the money was coming in, I didn't like what I was doing for it. Staying in like the tea house, spending nights there, going in with a fresh trim, coming out beard, like, not, we weren't a full beard then, but you know, got the yeah. And you know, I knew it weren't the life for me, but and I was still trying to do the music thing then, still trying to do it then. Ended up linking up with Major Ace, rest in peace, from Page You Go crew back in the day. And he used to come to the studio and whatnot, but it was just like I couldn't find the link to, you know, to
perpetuate.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where I needed money. Funnily enough, I used to watch Charlie Sluff's YouTube channel, and he had a let's just say a making it for rappers for dummies. Do you remember? He done it ages ago. He's probably gonna laugh. I think I've probably still got it like saved at some point. And he done something about, oh, yo, you need to be doing this amount of videos. You need to be doing this. And I was like, that was at the point where I realized I can't fund that. I'm gonna have to be doing madness. I'm working, and I was working once again. I was working at John Lewis on Oxford Street in London, mate. I was paying ridiculous to get to work. I was living in Sussex at the time, so I had to pray to get into London. Bro, I was leaving the house at like 6, getting back in at like 8, 9 o'clock, bro, but I will always, that's one thing I have to rate about myself, even though I did get involved with, you know, let's just call it the easy way, even though it's quite hard, but the easy way, I still try to do it what people would call the right way.
I like to call it the shortcut way, which we refer to as the easy way, which isn't an easy way.
No, it's not.
It's a shortcut, what we believe is a shortcut to riches and materialism that ends up with trauma and devastation.
100%.
You know, it's
100%. One of my life-changing moments when I was down there, I had a car crash, 70 miles per hour into a concrete lamppost, and look at me here, not a scratch. 70 miles per hour, Marv, directly into a concrete lamppost.
And when was that?
Wow, that would be like 2010. Summer 2010, that would be. I was with some of the guys I was running around with. We ended up meeting the boss. We're all in the club, we're young, we're gassed around there thinking, and I realised that the driver's guzzling champagne, like he hadn't saw champagne before. And I've gone, bro, aren't you driving? He goes, I'm cool, bro, don't worry. And I'm like, all right then, cool, like more gullible, me, young and gullible. I was like, yeah, cool, we're blessed. And then we were racing. They were racing. Obviously, I didn't drive at the time, so I'm just in the back. And they were racing against the big man at the time. Back to his yard, he's saying, all right then, lads, come, we're gonna go back to mine and have it after. Rare. So we're gassed, like, especially myself, I'm thinking, yo, we just met the big boss. And now we're gonna, you know, build rapport, go into his yard, etc. And boom, I just remembered, like, I was on my phone, and then I just remember seeing the white lines in the road. They were just going the wrong way. I never saw them going in the direction they were going. Like, so the car must have spun out or whatnot, and we've just gone head first into a concrete lamppost, mate. And I think the impact was so mad, I must have puked on myself from the pressure. And then I just remember someone coming in, he's like, Brummy, come, pull me out the car, hobbling off like, what's that film now with Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover and Thingy, we were hobbling off away from the car. The car blew up, Marv, and you know that doesn't really happen. So you know how bad the extent of the crash is. Like, it's only usually American.
Did anyone die in the car?
Nah, luckily. Everyone got out, yeah, all of us got out. And I think for me, that was a pivotal moment for me that made me think, you know what, I don't feel like I'm on the right path. I don't feel like I'm doing the right thing. And I need to make adjustments. And I think that's one of the traits, that's one of my positive traits of myself. I am able to self-analyze. And that moment there, I started to kind of wean myself away from that lifestyle. And then that was a result of my music course getting cancelled. They cancelled it. so I couldn't go on to the next year. Yeah, and I was doing so well. I was flourishing in that course, and it felt like they pulled the rug from underneath me. There was no more links. It was the only like music college in Birmingham, and that was when they started to switch it, so it was just for bands. So unless you was like trying to be Lenny Kravitz or Lenny Hendrix, as they say, no, Jimi Hendrix, or Jimi Hendrix or Lenny Kravitz, he weren't really a place for me, you know. And they pushed out a certain, I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything, but they pushed out a certain demographic of pupils by getting rid of that course, because it was for MCs and singers. So without saying, we don't want you lot here anymore, it was just like, you can't go on to finish that course now. You know, I got distinction, everything. Like, I killed it. Like, my first year, performed with a live band, and I was the only one to do that on the course. You know, so I felt like I was in my bag. You know, I was in the right place. I was just going there. But you know, things happen, and I had to go to London after that to experience what I did. You know, so going and living that life in London, and you know, the tea house, the crash, the characters I was around.
Was that all in London?
Yeah, well, like Sussex area as well, mainly. So it was very knowledgeable time for me, a very transitional period for me. Then I come back to Brum, 212. And I actually tried to make clothes then. I had jumpers and T-shirts. And this is one of my latest pieces now. And it wasn't really popping for me. I was putting up freestyles and everything. I was still trying, but I just didn't seem to be able to get around the right people that could enhance my career or anything like that. I just felt like I was throwing mud up a wall, I'd say, instead of saying I was throwing mud up a wall. Yeah. And not long after that, I went abroad. Went to Greece and worked as a bartender for a bit in Lineker's. Okay. And that's when the world opened up to me, you know.
Oh, was that when it was, yeah?
The world opened up to me in a sense where I started to see life differently. Like, it's getting random foreign women, like, picture, come. And I'm just like, okay, this is a bit mad, but I can get used to this. Like, I'm just handing out flyers like we were today for Lineker's on the night. And it was a great experience, man. That taught me a lot as well. Still friends with a lot of people that I was working with at Lineker's at that time. And then I came back. What did I do now? Came back and started to work TGI's. Okay. But I would always still...
You had a proper assortment of jobs, didn't you?
100%, yeah, but I would still always be active. So I wasn't stupid. I wouldn't be active and have no job. I'd have a job, and then,
Pump up the finances.
Say, yeah. And that's mainly like...
Well, here's a little curveball for you then.
Go on then.
Here's a curveball for you.
Yeah.
Right. If you could compare the speed of growth to before you had your hands dirty and after you had your hands clean, which would you say was the fastest perpetuating?
I'm gonna say the latter. You know, when I met yourself, because I was gonna get to that point, because I met the lads over in Greece that had the music studio in MK, and that's how I ended up meeting yourself. So that's how I was gonna do that. So that's how I connected with him abroad. It weren't here.
Sick.
Yeah. I didn't know him here.
So you've never had that crash. You wouldn't have went to Greece, really, would you?
It wasn't really. Yeah. Actually, yeah, because it all works out. It all works out to one of the reasons why I went back to Brum as well. Yeah.
I've just retrospectively looked at the cause, right? So if you never had that crash, you would never have went to Greece. You would never have met them, and we wouldn't have met.
Never.
So we wouldn't even be here today if you never.
It's mad. And I had a friend at the time that was living with me, and he was like, because this was the time when Greece was really bad for finances and whatnot, and I was contemplating whether to go. He was saying, bro, he said, just bro, fuck it, man, just go. It is what it is. At least you can say that you tried and you went. And I went out there, and I'm a networker. always been naturally, and I just ended up bumping into L, and that's when he's linked me when I've come back to England, because I've left over there. Come back, I'm saying, yo, I want to do my music. He's saying, yo, the studio's there, rare, because I was going to his studio with Wiz, is it Wizard?
The first studio.
First studio just cranked off in like some woodland somewhere, some farm.
In a little farm.
I was going there, is it Wizard? Wizard,
Yeah.
Yes. So I was going there, and started networking. Obviously, that's when I knew him. They're like, yeah, man, you're good, you're proper, rare, this and that. Then you came into the picture. Obviously, I sent him the song. They're not being recognised. And then he invited me down to the Enterprise by the train station. So I come down there and I had a little chat with him. And then he gave me the call after saying that you wanted to meet me and to basically come back down. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then I come.
That was that not being recognised tune, though, right?
Yeah. So once I met you, and then you were saying certain things about, oh, your hands being clean and rare. And this time I know my hands were like kind of green at the time, you know, them ones there. So it was a tricky one, because I don't like to know that I'm lying, especially when someone's got good intentions, you know?
You feel better now, though, right?
100%. And I feel like it's only when you let go, you can receive, you know? It's I understand why people struggle to, because you're kind of used to a way of living. You're used to a certain amount of money. You're used to a certain amount of attention. You're used to a certain amount of phone calls and whatnot. But it also showed me that these people are only hollering because I'm the man and I've got this.
And I want to pause for a minute in your little story, in your journey, right? Because it's for the viewers to understand, right? That obviously, when I met you, you had dirty-ish hands, boxing, fraternising and engaging with certain people in the environment, which I felt couldn't be conducive to my journey and my life, right? So that's when I said to you, look, I'll help you, we'll do what we're doing, but the hands have to be squeaky clean, right? So what really excited me about you was when I had the conversation with you about having clean hands, and come back to me when you have clean hands, and you said you would. And when you come back, you'd actually had was it a degree from college?
Yeah, I just did a high national diploma for the first 2 years.
So what I'm saying is, when you come back and said my hands are clean, you ain't come back and just said my hands are clean.
Yeah.
You come back and showed me your hands are clean.
Yeah.
Right, so that was the second thing that made me realise that we're going to be going somewhere together for a very long time, right? And again, we've done a podcast today because of the journey we've got today. We come to Edinburgh Festival, we're performing. We're helping each other along our journeys, assisting each other with what we're doing. And I don't think I'd want to promote anybody else rather than yourself at this stage of my life, right? Because you are the epitome of what I'm trying to create.
Thank you.
And that's people that have come from the same place I've come from, mixed with the same people I've mixed with, lived, breathed and slept, earned, survived and flourished, right? They've actually walked away, cleaned their hands and started again. And the reason why I wanted you on is because we are living proof that it can be done.
100%.
Me as an older member and you as a younger member. Now, for those that don't know, God's Glitch is an amazing brand that will be getting publicised in October, November and December's issue of...
GQ.
Pardon?
GQ. British GQ. GQ.
GQ.
Yeah.
So, young Nathaniel's designs, ideas and dreams are coming to life in October, November and December in the way of GQ magazine. Yeah? GQ magazine. So my hats come off to you, young sir. And you know what? If we could create another barrage of young men equal to yourself, then we're starting a journey to pick up the momentum and the trajectory to create a global sort of
100%.
change in mindsets towards achievement and goals, right?
100%.
So can we talk about your God's
Good
glitch
friends,
now?
yeah.
Because
So-
what inspired you to call it God's glitch?
Yeah. It's a crazy one, you know, if I'm honest with you. And I had a dream, yeah, but when I'm looking, I can only see things, they're pixelated. So I could only see that. And I thought, yo, that would be, when I woke up, I thought, yo, that would actually look cold on a t-shirt or a top. And the name didn't come to me till I was in Kappa Future with my brethren at some house rave, just like loving it, yeah? And it just come to me, God's glitch, like. And everyone's like, am I saying to my mate pre-rave, like I've stopped him in the middle of the rave, I'm saying, bro, I want to call my brand God's glitch. Then he's raving and he stopped and he goes, you know what? That's sick. That's sick. It's gonna get people thinking.
I feel like God's glitch.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
actually feel
100%.
like God's glitch, like a glitch of God. Like I feel like God's glitch, like.
Yeah. That's
And ironically enough, to go through everything I've been through, experience everything I've experienced, achieve everything I've achieved, then do my first live public performance.
That's what I'm saying, it's amazing.
Church.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad we're sitting here, it's crazy.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
100%.
God's glitch. Like I never thought we was going to be in a church.
Neither did I.
I didn't. I just got told we're going to be in St Cuthbert's in
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. I didn't even know what St Cuthbert's was. I thought it was a hall.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't know it was a.
But we're here, it's a good backdrop, man.
No, it's not just a bad road. It shows, to me anyway, right, from the crash to today, why everything was meant to happen. And when you look back retrospectively in your journey, you actually see that you made the right choices to go where you're going and do what you're doing. 100%. And I'll give you an example, right? So, just for argument's sake, just imagine you'd have said to me 4 years ago or 3 years ago, I'm all right, mate, I'm fine, I'm going to stick with this fella. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Where would you be now if you'd have chose to go down that road? Do you know what I mean? Where would your options be now? What would you have been doing? Would you have the God's glitch? Would you have God's glitch then?
I don't think he would have called me, I don't think so, yeah, it's mad.
When you look at that avenue and this avenue, that's what tells me that we're in the right place at the right time
100%.
to achieve our right goals.
100%, man. Everything's aligned. And I remember the first time I come to see you, there was like a 777 car parked right outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like I know I'm actually meant to be here. Like that's always something when I see that, I know that I'm on the right path. If something's happened and I'm driving and I see that, that makes me know. That's just my thing to say, yo mate, you're doing okay, don't worry. Everything's blessed, just stay focused and keep grinding. So yeah, man. So big respect to yourself as well, because I've had to, you know, give you calls at times when I've not been in the right mental space. And you're always like, oh nah, you can't be like that, straight. You know, you'd be a good football manager. You'd be a good football manager. I believe that. I believe that.
I'll just do what I feel I have to do, and I'll give advice on the opposite principle that I used to live. So what I used to believe in and what I used to drive towards and what I used to aim for, totally different now, with the material, the strategies, and the network, you know. So it's about helping as many people as can come into contact with. Now, the only one thing like I ask anybody that I work with is make sure you got clean hands. And if they've got clean hands, then
they're ready to go.
GQ, here they come.
I swear that was insane though, to be honest.
No, but see, it's not. It's
no, but when I say insane, I like the word insane though, because it's part of my creative process. I'd like to say that I'm an insane creator. Yeah. But when I think about insane, I don't think about it in a negative way.
Right.
For me, insanity is kind of where it's a realm that I like to step into to be creative. I don't want to be creative and it's just all chilled and all. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like I find beauty within chaos. And then demonstrate that in the art, and that's what I want to do. But when I got the email, just threw my phone back down and went back to sleep. Just went to sleep. I thought, because you get these bogus, you know, when you've got a business, you get these bogus emails. Oh yeah, we saw you on Instagram and we want you to do this. We're gonna offer you that, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that. And I was just like, oh, I can't bother. And there was no way straight away I was gonna think like it was official. Yeah, so I've gone back to sleep, and I've walked back up, and something said to me, just go into the email and then LinkedIn. So any names that you see, run it in LinkedIn and see what go on, basically. And it all started to just come back official and that, and I'm like, oh, at the time I was like, boom, to my bed. At the time I was like,
Wow.
oh.
For those that don't know what LinkedIn is, LinkedIn's a corporate network, a corporate social media network where all the business people on the planet communicate for opportunities, help and assistance, basically. That's what LinkedIn is in, for investment opportunities for other people.
Yeah.
So all the most lucrative businesses and people on the planet are
on LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I could just see like the woman's name and then works at GQ, rare, this, and I was like, wow, this is real. And then we had about 5 conversations back and forth. We kept speaking, and she loved the brand, she loved what it stood for. And you know, we had a really good chat, and we came up with we agreed to a deal. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad finally, you know, people used to come to me and say, your brand's sick, but it has to get in front of people. And when they're sending me the figures of their clientele, the numbers, what kind of people read GQ, like they sent me all their, like the demographics, like, and analytics, yeah, they sent me all of that. And I was pretty impressed, but finally, you know, I've always rated my brand as like, some people used to be like, oh, it's quite expensive, it's this, it's that. And it's like, because you don't know what we're trying to do. You know, it's something that's going to fund being able to have a sanctuary. You know, like in MK where we went and the people was getting food and sandwiches and things like that. I believe every community should have one of those, but with the facility for someone to be able to sleep if they need to for a couple of days till they're put on their feet. Somewhere where they can be clothed, recycled clothing, like everyone's throwing clothes away. You get what I'm saying? Trainee hairdressers and whatnot could come in and do a day where they cut whoever's hair and just get them back. You know what I mean? So this is the vision, like on Will Smith Pursuit of Happiness. I've always said I want one of those. Well, God's glitch sanctuaries all over the planet. But one step at a time, we have to crawl before we can walk, and then, you know.
It's quite mad you say that, because you know, I'm heading for schools, colleges and prisons. So I'm looking to have my own schools, colleges and prisons.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why we can't partner up on all these things anyway.
100%.
It's happening. I'm going to have schools, colleges and prisons. I know that without a shadow of a doubt.
Sick.
So that we can have community hubs, which I'm creating at the moment right now.
Sick.
With my community people referral units and stuff like that. So I'm going to be plugged right in the next 2 years for that. So you can partner up with us with God's Glitch when we're doing that for the clothes aspect of side of things.
100%, 100%. As I said, the money that we will be making, as we give a percentage of the profit to the less fortunate anyway, but it's literally to build and be able to fund a sanctuary. But this is like 10 years down the line. May happen sooner, but yeah, it's my 10-year plan. That was, you know, you're supposed to have your 2-year, your 5-year, and your 10-year. But that's where I'll be able to.
I'm on my last 5-year, my last 10-year plan.
Fair play.
And everything's ticked off so far. So we've got the next 5 years.
Yeah, man.
And
fair play, man.
We're making steady progress.
100%. You know, steady progress is the best because you're able to make adjustments. If it happens too quick, crash and burn. If you're not prepared, crash and burn.
So I've learned.
Yeah.
So I've experienced.
That's why the turtle run the race, isn't it? That's why the turtle run the race, mate. Like steady
never
pace.
Had no headaches.
Calm, steady pace, mate. And 100%. But I feel like this is where I found my purpose. Before this, I was lost. I'm not saying there hasn't been times where I've had doubts. It's only natural. But then I'd randomly imagine this. I was having a proper shit day, yeah? Walked out of my college, I'm pissed. Like, the universe will test you out sometimes just to see if you're at the point it needs you to be at. Yeah? And I clearly wasn't at the point where I was supposed to be at, so it did this to me. So something happened and I weren't happy, I was pissed, so I went for a walk. Yeah, I've come out of the campus, I've gone for a walk, and then I bumped into one of the youths that used to see me on the ends when I was on road. And he said, oh, yo, Nat. And I'm like, yo, what, go on? He's like, yo, good to see you, bro. He goes, I'm not really around like that. I'm not on the ends no more. I'm cutting hair and this and that. I'm saying, yes. And I said, I'm proud of you. He goes, yo, keep cutting hair, because guess what? You can go anywhere in the world. As long as you got your clippers, you can set up anywhere in the world. It's the same thing with most trades, to be honest, but clippers is like, it's less tools, isn't it? It's like, literally, put your clippers in your suitcase, go and tour, cut the right person's hair, mate. You know what I'm saying? So, then he was like, you've always been a big inspiration to me, you know, the way you just got off, and I just see you doing your thing. So, one thing I will say is, it's crazy, because you never know who's watching you, man. You never know who's watching you. And to hear that on that day, that straight away just filled me up with some next energy. And I was like, right, cool, come, I'm going to crush this day now. I'm not going to get caught up in how I was feeling a minute ago when a man just said that. So he's actually watching me from a distance. You understand? And it was perfect timing. I couldn't have wrote that. I've walked out of the campus pissed. He's walking down the road, yo, Nat, full of energy, glad to see me. Because he remembers me on the road. Yeah. So he hadn't saw me in long, so he's gassed to see me. But then he's got to tell me that he's changed his life and doing the right thing now, and he's away from certain people, and he's just keeping his head down and he's just working. And that there for me was a big, massive, like, yo, yeah, man, I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. I'm just doing the right thing. Yeah. Just stay focused.
So what was your highest moment on your journey, would you say? What's the biggest accolade you've had so far?
With the clothing, or just my journey?
In general, yeah, your journey. Because I like to ask the simple two questions. What's the highest and what's the lowest?
One of my pinnacles, I would say, is performing at Fire in the Park, you know.
Yeah.
Yo, that was mad. I didn't believe it, Marv. I'd swear down. Like, my missus at the time, she was like, I was just unsure because I went to Ibiza and I had to leave early.
I told you when I heard that song, though, I told you I'm going to get that out there, didn't I?
Yeah.
I told you I'm going to get that out there.
So I was, I just didn't, I believed, but I wasn't 100% sold. Like, I just thought something was going to go wrong. And it fucking happened, you know? And unfortunately, I didn't I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but obviously I weren't meant to do that, if you get what I was saying. You're meant
to be here now, this is
exactly that. Yeah, 100%. Because I did have the platform, I had the platter in front of me. So I told me what to do. Get this, we'll get this ready for and Charlie, and we'll go. But yeah, man, that was one of my highlights. I've always been a performer, and that was a great experience for me, 100%. I just don't think I utilised it as much, man. There was so much stars there. Go on, I know you said.
You did utilise it.
Yeah.
You used it to the best of your ability. You used it for everything you were meant to be.
You're right.
You're here now. Like,
right. You're right.
So when we met, I said to you, you're going to achieve your goals, right? You're not going to get what you want when you want it, but you're going to get everything you want when you need it, right? And it's just everything's coming now when you need it.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I'm glad that it's coming this way, at this pace.
Because imagine now, if you'd have blown up Fire in the Park, you wouldn't have had no time to focus on your brand.
Nothing. And then remember COVID as well, so you would have just shut down anyway.
Everything. And then you would have been in a pickle. Do you know what I mean? Now you're coming out of COVID, going in GQ, bro. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Coming out of COVID and going into GQ. So it's perfect. Like, it couldn't have
applied for uni again as well.
Pardon?
I've applied for uni again as well. I want to do another year there.
There we go. That's another year
as well. Yeah, I want to do that. I think.
What are you going to do in that?
Fashion communication and promotions. Just so I can learn right terminologies, how to have conversations with these people, you know. And there's nothing wrong with learning something in your
industry.
100%. I want to be, even though I can talk to anybody, I want to be able to have a deep conversation
on the right frequency.
100%.
And another point I want to make with that as well, because a lot of people do a lot of talking. A lot of people expect a lot of things from the conversations they have. But what a lot of people don't realise is if you're not talking the same language on the same frequency as the person or the recipient, the person that's listening to you, you're wasting your time.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying to that?
It's just going over their head.
Yeah.
It's like when you meet someone in a club. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I've been there. you meet someone in the club and you're trying to speak to them. They can hear what you're saying, but it's not going in. They're not listening.
Yeah, no, because too much distractions going on around, yeah. And that's the only thing.
100%. But yeah, man, I'm very grateful. I know there's a lot more work to be done. I'm ready for that. I'm looking forward to obviously working with yourself and see what the new year brings, the new studying and going uni as well.
Well, you know what that's going to bring. Nothing but success, mate. Nothing
100%.
but outcomes and positive lifestyles, you know, because it's just the chain of events that's happening in your life now that will result in the choices you made 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
And it's the ripple effect of the choices you made that have brought us to this position now. And now the choices you make now, like you didn't have to be here today.
No.
Right, but you don't know how many people, pardon me, sorry, you don't know how many people or how many countries are going to view this podcast.
Yeah.
So God's Glitch now is going to be on so many people's minds, mouths and things, and especially because
one of one.
like it's just all exclusive stuff, innit? Like, and you can get anything done. Do you know what I mean? So any one-off pieces people may want to have done, they can have special
We're
stuff.
there, man.
Like,
They can email us straight away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All this stuff you can
Straight
do.
on the website.
So what are your social media platforms that people can contact you on? Because there's
My
nothing worse than not putting your fake socials out there and they're not seeing what feeds you get back or what growth you get from the thing in it. So put your socials out there, and then if anybody's got any orders
or ideas,
it's
always limited edition.
Everything
always.
limited edition, collaborations, anything, man.
100%.
Like, we got to help each other
Yeah.
grow at an exponential rate so we can all achieve fantastic goals and live peacefully and harmoniously. If we all help each other achieve our goals individually, then we'll all be happy. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's all I try to do now.
100%, man.
I'm on course to reaching my potential. You're on course to reaching your potential. The only way we won't reach our potential is if we make the wrong choices.
100%.
And that's not about to happen for me.
100%.
You know?
So my Instagram is Pixelated Perception.
Pixelated Perception.
And the brand is just God's Glitch.
God's Glitch.
And then
Pixelated Perception.
Yeah, Pixelated Perception is just my personal.
Is it an open thing now, or has it got a request?
Yeah, now I've opened it, but somebody did advise me to close it, but I think I'm okay. I've removed all my photos and all that. I'm waiting for the GQ issue, then I'll come back with some images. Me reading the GQ issue. I think that's when I'll start putting images back on there.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that moment. So so also www.godsglitch.com, and then that's where you can request for like limited edition, your own stuff.
All the bits and pieces, yeah.
100%, yeah, man.
That's it, 66666.
100%.
So God's Glitch is the new brand.
Yeah.
Fashion wear,
High industry.
sportswear, high industry, everything's going to be on there. Congratulations.
Thank you, much appreciated. Thanks
Do
for
you know what,
having me.
you can't really expect anything more from what you've achieved. You know, like I can only look forward to what's coming. Do you know what I mean? And when you get in Harrods and down Bond Street, I'm going to be so proud that I had what's it called? An integral part in your transition.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
That's all I want from everybody. That's my buzz. That's my ego's massage now. Do you know what I mean? Because not only will I remember you forever, you'll remember me forever.
100%,
and even your kids are going to love me forever now.
100%. I tell you straight, and it's like, as you was on about moments in your life and your career, and there was another the high moment, and it was I went on to a Q&A. It was Virgil Abloh, the guy from Off-White and Louis Vuitton designer, and his mate Angelo Bake that did Supreme.
Okay.
And I got to speak to them, and that was like, yo, unreal. Like, I was surprised. Obviously, it was hard to get in through. It was like a massive Zoom, a Zoom call.
So there's that big camera up there. So, and what's this? I've got glasses there. All right.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Right, these are just some questions that have come in from the public.
Okay.
We'll answer them in a minute. We'll go on to them questions in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll answer some.
So yeah, that was
questions.
a big catalyst for me, being able to speak to them too, and them, you know, believing in what I did, and they're saying that, you know, they want to see me win. They like the fact that I'm looking to give back, you know, and that's the trend that I want to start. You know, the fashion industry makes trillions.
Well, did you know my and this is something, I had a charity, right, called GBH with Intent.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah? Do you know what it stood for?
What?
Give back hope with intent.
Okay.
Yeah, give
Well,
back
you're just
hope with
catching
intent.
catching their attention with
Yeah, GBH with intent.
Yeah.
And the key.
Okay.
The key was the thing, because now the key's a different representative, no?
Okay. Yeah, man.
So the key was the give back hope. And it's all about what you do when you're giving back, you know, because we've got to give back to help others. Like, I took so much off this planet and away from so many people, selfishly, unmercifully, like, aggressively. Like, it's time
It was part of your journey though, innit?
Yeah, it was, but now what I'm saying is, although I took so much out without consideration, I'm actually enjoying giving back now. Like, it makes me feel proud of myself. It makes me feel like I'm actually worth something now. I'm actually somebody, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
prior to this,
Like your purpose as well.
prior to this, I wasn't anybody. I was just a criminal. I was a naughty criminal. I was a bad person. But I amounted to nothing. I might have had.
But your
good
journey
qualities.
though, you say that, but I don't believe I would have received anything you were telling me if you didn't live that life. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like somebody that's a 12th dan in karate, and I'm doing karate and I'm learning how to do karate, and I'm gonna listen, man's a 12th dan. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit and listen to my man because he knows what it is.
I understand.
So I wouldn't have had that, like, it's like, you know, when someone's been it, you know, and that's something you can't buy. When you look at it, you probably look at it in a negative way, but you have to remember, if you did not live that life, once again, you wouldn't be here now.
Well, that's the point I was making earlier. That's why I'm God's glitch.
Yeah. There's very few of us, man.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be sitting here today. There isn't just the shooting. There's loads of things that have happened to me. I shouldn't be sitting here today. Do you understand? And the reason why I'm sitting here is because of God's glitch.
Sick, man. Sick.
Yeah, being God's glitch. So it's just mad. It's like, I was the most least person you'd associate with godly attributes prior to 2015. And all of a sudden, I'm live in St. Cuthbert's in the Edinburgh Festival in a church, talking nothing but the truth, feeling happy, proud, and very successful. So
You should be, man.
yeah, no, this is the reward of being normal,
Fruits
kind,
of your
and
labour,
selfless. Yeah, selfless is the key. That's what's helped me more than anything, you know. So moving forward now, what have we got to look forward to in the next 5 years? What's your next 5-year plan? Or
Wow,
what's the
collaborations, I think, to be honest. That's what I'm just aiming for the top. I want to do some big collaborations.
So who out there now? Who would you more than anything like to collab with?
Off-White.
Off-White.
Yeah, because I feel like with the pixelated thing and their thing, it would look crazy. Also, mad as it sounds, No Face.
North Face, yeah?
Yeah, because of the jacket. The puffer jacket. I believe with some of my designs on them, even though I'm going to make my own jackets anyway, but it's just it's the brand that's out there doing the jacket. They're known for their jackets, right? So even though that's like I don't even really say a lower brand, it's a brand that when they do collaborate, the prices go up, and because we'd only do exclusives, it'd only be 30 of these jackets. And I also want people to make money. So let's say I collaborate with, let's say, Off-White then, yeah, and we do 30 of these jackets. The reseller is gonna make money again, and that's what I love. It's an innocent hustle. You get one of my jackets, once all 30 are gone, the value goes straight up. So then now that can be your life. Like when the drop comes, you know, people are making a lot of money off trainers and all that.
Right.
Now.
And people, I want to put it out there now. Because what you're talking about, I know people that actually do that now with Supreme.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They're all the Supreme.
100%. Yeah.
They go and buy it and then just resell it.
100%. And that's what I'm saying. When I got to speak to Angelo, it was crazy. because he used to be the designer for them. He's just done a deal with ASICS now, so he's at ASICS doing his thing awake.
And you know what, I want to put it out there publicly now. I'm going to plug you in.
Yeah, man, say.
No, because I've just realised, you just mentioned two names there, yeah? Two companies that I know the owners of.
Wow. Wow.
Do you know what I mean? And they're down the West End.
Wow. Yeah,
Do you know
man.
what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm looking to manifest that collaborations, fashion show, my first ever fashion show. Do you know I've never launched my company yet?
No.
Never had a launch party yet.
Why?
I want to get to a certain point. It's like my aunt the other day. Big up Anu, Birmingham Fashion Shop. It's the first fashion shop that we're in. Come out of New Street train station, it's right there. We're in the window on the mannequin. The guys there have been very supportive of my journey from the beginning, but I just feel like I want to get to a certain point, Marv. You know, like yourself, when you was doing certain things, I bet you people were coming up to you and saying, oh, Marv, you're killing it, you're doing this, you're doing that. But in your head, did you look at it like, oh, it's just a checkpoint. I'm not even where I really want to be. It's just a checkpoint. It's not the spot right now. So I think what I would like to do, I will launch it, but I'll launch it when I'm ready, man. When I'm ready, it will be the maddest launch. It'll be like, wow, like he's waited till the company's 5 or 6 years old and done a mad launch party, or the fashion show, you know? So I think, even though it's already took off, but the launching pad then would be to the next level.
See, I think, I want to do this publicly because this is what we do, right?
Yeah.
So I think you might have the process of the launch a little bit deluded.
Probably.
Right. Do you know what launch means?
The start, obviously.
Take off.
Yeah.
Right, so you're launching your brand.
Yeah.
So you want to get your brand to a position to launch.
Yeah.
When it's in a position to launch,
Yeah.
you launch it. You don't sell as many items as you can. Say, right, we're shit out there. We're launching. That's
Okay, no one's done that before though, right?
no, but no, see, they have.
Okay.
They have, and they've flopped.
Okay.
Because what happens then, yeah, the launch party has a marketing strategy applied to it. Right, so based on your, what are they called? Strategic alignments you're with. Once you launch with your strategic partners, it becomes global. That's the purpose of a launch.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Because you get all your strategic partners involved.
Yeah, and then everyone
All the partnerships.
Yeah.
Right? You're ready, and you say, right, let the world know. Poof, there's your launch. Do you understand? But you're going to waste time trying to get where you think you want to be when you can get the right people, the right networks, and the right strategy to get you there instantly.
But that's the whole point.
Yeah, but
That's why we're here.
yeah, but what you just said, yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to launch it after 5 years.
Yeah, no, I was
what
just saying. I was just saying it in.
No.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, that principle is why people fail.
Okay.
Right, so this is what we're going to do live, because this is like kind of live, right? So this is your idea of what you're going to do to become successful. Right, so just imagine now, right? You go, you do your idea of what you're doing. Then I'll come along and go, do you know what I'm going to do? Get some of them, get some of them, get some of them. Then I'll go off and I'll speak to 5 or 6 different people, right? America, China, Africa, India, right? And I'll get the biggest companies in each country to help me market the product, right? And I say, right, do you want to get involved? Do you want to get involved? Right, how many shops you got? How many shops you got? How many shops? Yeah, I want you all involved. Yeah, come on in. And then I'll come and say, right, I'm going to launch now. Once I launch, with my strategic partnerships, I've got instant success because of their success.
Their caliber, yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to build your success to compete with this lot already. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I get that, but that's why I'm here to learn. Yeah.
Your brand is its brand, right? Your brand is its brand, right? Your ethos is your ethos, right? So basically, what you're doing is you've got to. This is the thing that a lot of working class people. It's not just blacks, not just whites. The Asians are all right at it. Do you know what I mean? And the Chinese are all right at it. They know how to survive. That's why they have all the shops, right? Because they've got a strategy,
A blueprint, yeah.
a blueprint, right? We haven't. We're just getters and takers, right?
So
you're learning to get these strategies now. So that's why it's good having me on board.
Come on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying to you, because you would have spent the last 4 years doing something, and you can do exactly what you've done in 4 years in a week with the right strategic alignment.
The right people, yeah.
So me, what I focus on educating my youngsters is broadening your network, right? Because, like I said to all my youngsters that I mentor, right? And I'll use the analogy that I have. I had 40% of a football academy when we started. I've now got 20% of the football academy. Now, by the time I'm sitting pretty, I'm going to have 2% of my football academy. Right? But when I have 2% of my football academy, it's going to be a Premiership football academy, a Premiership club. So once I've got 2% of a Premiership club on a dividend, I'm in. Right? So what I'm learning now is the strategic pattern of business. Right? And that's what we don't have. Right? So what you've got a product, which is your product. Do it. I'm not giving it to them. It's mine. That's the mindset we have. When in business,
emotionally connected.
In business, watch this. You got 100% of your God's glitch. Right? So how about if Louis Vuitton, Selfridges, Louis Vuitton, Selfridges, and Heathrow all come in and ask you for 25% of your company? What would you do? I want to buy 25% of your company. Each company.
How much is they buying it for? How much are they offering for 25%?
See. That's the street mindset.
Yeah, of course it is.
No, but see. Now, I want to give you the flip side of that.
Yeah.
Because we're always focused on money.
Yeah, of course.
We're focused on growth.
Okay, yeah.
So if you focused on money, right, you're going to say, how much money, how much? And they'll say, oh, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you that.
Okay.
And you go, no, I don't want that. I want that. I'll go, all right, we'll give you that. And they'll give you that, and you go about your business. You're happy. Yeah? But you get in bed the right way. Yeah? You take your small percentages, you're in it forever. Forever. Yeah? And you're on percentage. Like, imagine having 2% of McDonald's right now.
Yeah, I know, that's mad.
Imagine having 2% of Royal Mail right now.
Yeah,
imagine having 2% of Selfridges right now. Imagine having 2% of Adidas right now. Imagine having 2% of Fila. Right, so this is all they are. I remember when most of these companies started. Do you know what I mean? I remember when Fila started.
No, I hear you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I remember when Audi started in this country. I remember when Nando's first come to this country. I remember when McDonald's first come to this country.
Wow.
Look at them all now. Right? So they've all grown with their strategy. So what I'm introducing to my kind and my people and them strategies so we can grow and become billionaires. Because I'm on the journey where I have to create billionaires. I have to create billionaires. So that is what my aim and goals are for the next 10, 15 years.
100%.
You know? And I can honestly say I've met two possible candidates. Two possible candidates. You're one of them, and I met another kid the other day. And a young Lewis, if you're watching, a young Lewis, this geezer is a business sense.
Okay. Business acumen's high, yeah.
Oh, mate, he's only even 25 years of age.
Wow.
And mate, what he's doing now is unreal. What he offered me the other day, well, how can you do that? I can. Okay, sweet. So I want to create billionaires. I've learned the strategy, what billionaires have used forever. So I'm going to use that into educating and mentoring my youngsters. So I'll ask you a question. Louis Vuitton, what did I say? Louis Vuitton, Heathrow, and Selfridges offered you 25%. They wanted 25% each of your company, so you only owed 25% of your company. What would you do? I wouldn't even think about it. See, watch. Let me finish, please. Right? I wouldn't even think about it. And the reason why I wouldn't think about it, right? Louis Vuitton is one of the biggest brands on the planet. Right? Selfridges is one of the biggest shops on the planet. Heathrow is one of the biggest airports on the planet. They're all successful for a reason. Why wouldn't I have them as a partner?
It's true.
Now, I know they're going to make a lot more money than I could ever make.
100%. They've already got the
gamble I'm taking The gamble I'm taking, which
makes
isn't even a
sense.
gamble, is getting in bed with them.
It makes sense.
It makes sense when you think about it logically. But if someone come in and said, look, I want to take 75% of your company, the first initial reaction from anyone from the road is going to be, fuck off. I'm giving you 75% of my company.
Of course.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even if someone comes and said, what's this? See God's glitz. Sell me 75% of your company for 3 million quid. We'd automatically think, no, it's worth much more than that. It's got to be worth much more than that if he's offering me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
We don't understand the growth.
100%. We're thinking short term.
Short term.
Quick line in your pockets and
So
just move
they'll
it
say,
out.
yeah, take that money, we'll buy you out, and then they'll grow something like Marks and Spencer's. Marks and Spencer's started from a street stall.
Yeah.
A street stall, selling matches.
Wow.
Right, that's what they started off. Matches and then soap.
Wow.
And they went in and look what they got now. And every supermarket started from a street trader. Because
100%.
there never used to be shops, was there? And then the shops came. Do you know what I'm saying? So then the shops
100%.
came, shops got robbed, pillaged, and everything. So everything's a process of something that started back in the day. Now, if you get your strategies right, then you're on course for greatness. And I do believe, Nathaniel, that you're on course for greatness, and it is a pleasure knowing you, it's a pleasure being involved in your journey, and it is an honour that you actually listen to the advice that I give.
Come on, man.
Being me, though, like, because I don't believe I'm an educated person.
You don't have to be. That's what I said. You can't buy your lifestyle and what you went through. You can't buy that. You could be the richest person on the planet. That experience that you gained from living your life that way, you can't buy that. So when you're talking to somebody that's from there you go. So when somebody's lived that life and they're talking to somebody that's not even lived it to the same, but just been involved, been in the arena, yeah, there's an unspoken respect. There's an unspoken understanding, and you're not trying to pick apart what he's saying. It's like when you're at school and a substitute teacher comes in and you're testing them out. But if one comes in from the road, everyone knows what time it was. And I did that one time. To be honest, didn't really get to go on that, but that's cool. But once they know, you can smell it. You know when somebody's come from somewhere, especially if you've been there. You can smell it on them. And it's as simple as that, man. But yeah, it's all good. Should we get into the
right, the questions and answers. Ooh. Right, so Exposure TV has asked, what do you think of Ben Hatchett, thinking he is a boxer? Do you think he's mucking up boxing in general? No. What do I think?
I don't even know who Ben Hatchett
Ben Hatchett is a YouTuber. He's a young kid who was in Broadmoor. He's had his own conflict and issues in life. He's a decent enough chap, just trying to do better for everyone.
I'm all for people getting up and going for at least trying.
He's trying, mate. He's doing good. He's doing good. He's good. Actually thinking he's a boxer. Well, look, at the end of the day, he's boxing to raise money for charity, for a good cause. Do I think he's a boxer? No one's a boxer unless they learn how to box. But that's just a general. He's learning a trade to compete because he wants to do something for the greater good of his country and people in a less fortunate position than himself. And I commend him for that. Well done, Ben. Joe Mancho. Do you have a spare glass eye just in case you lose that one? Do you know what? Yeah. I was going to buy a few moody glass eyes, but I never did because I sort of told myself, if I lose it, I'm not meant to have it. And I haven't lost it yet. And yeah, so, no. Right. Fan. Hey TE fan, aka Lee James. How much time a week do you spend filming? It's hard. It depends. It's from week to week, but 3 days a week, so 24, 48, 72.
A lot.
Yeah, about 72 hours a week. When is Colton Leach's podcast coming out? That's Big Dogs. And basically, he's coming out. Colton's got his own family issues at the moment, and once his chaoticness of emotions and families calm down a little bit, then we'll get it on. He's got a couple of personal issues that he's dealing with at the moment. God bless Colton and the family. Hope all is well soon. Mad Dad. Would like to see you interview Ralph Rowe. I'd like to interview Ralph Rowe myself, but we've reached out to him a couple of times and he hasn't bothered. Unfortunately, do apologise for that. Neil Walker. Do you like haggis, Marv? Do you know what? I'm a non-meat eater, but I'm actually going to try haggis before we leave. So I'm going to have haggis before we leave, so I'll let you know then. So on that note, no more questions. I hope I've answered all your questions honestly and truthfully to your satisfaction. And on that note, we'll wrap it up, Young Entity. Cool. So thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
And stay tuned because we will be doing a follow-up.
Yeah, man,
right?
cool.
So every year we're going to do follow-ups with people that I've been mentoring and working with. So in a year's time, we're going to have you back on.
Yeah, man, cool.
And we're going to share you with all your awards and all your bits and bobs. And,
yeah, man, cool.
You know
that sounds okay.
I'm looking forward to a lot more merchandise. I'll have to get some. I'll have to get some smart jackets. I've got a casual jacket, a smart jacket, and not, the smart ones. I'm not going to have a big glitch on it.
No, of course.
It's a little,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
just a little glitch. Yeah.
Less is more sometimes.
Come on, man.
100%.
So we're going to get there. We're doing it.
100%,
so,
man.
For no further ado, stay tuned, stay focused, and stay positive for another episode of Marvin Herbert's Nothing But the Truth. We'll be back soon. Stay safe, stay focused, stay positive.